Dude, shut up. And welcome back to Pod-a-Mania.
My fault.
This is a weekly wrestling podcast. You can follow the show at Pod-a-Mania Pod. Follow us at _EWL3 and at Bozo Dills.
My bad, man.
This is a big loaded week, guys, and I'm so glad you're joining us. Backlash is this Saturday, so please try and join us. We're gonna try and be back in person for first impressions and reactions together, you and us holding hands,
Touching me, you and Matt on Saturday. Devin unfortunately will not be there.
Shit.
Oh, he said maybe. He working Beyonce concert, man.
I get him. But yeah, this is a weekly wrestling podcast where we cover last week's SmackDown, this week's Raw, and anything in between. And in this case, it unfortunately was the beginning of May releases for the WWE. They didn't renew certain people's contracts. They, didn't re-sign some of these people and just let them go. Some of these people will be back on the indies in 16 and 90. And that was a moment of silence for fallen heroes like Dakota Kai, the KCs of Kaden Carter and Katana Chance, Braun Strowman, Shayna Baszler, Cora Jade, Gigi Dolan, Jakara Jackson, Shotzi, who didn't renew her contract, she wasn't released, Eddie Thorpe, Ora Mensa, Wolfgang, and Mark and Joe Coffey.
E's and P's.
Yeah, this is just such couple of these are just such unfortunate losses for WWE, but they weren't really Dakota Kai.
About the women's tag division at all.
It's fucking stupid that they introduced these mid-card titles and then mid-card and tag team titles, and then you fucking release the talent to carry these titles.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Gigi Dolan at Raw, and then you cut her.
Yeah. That fucking
hyping you up, and then
Dakota Kai was not injured. She was just sitting at home. And Nick Khan was just saying, we don't have talent. We bench. This is fucking awful for WWE, in my opinion. And wherever any of these people go, I'm hoping for insane indie runs for people like Dakota Kai and Shotzi. Wherever these people go, they're gonna do great stuff. And Jakara Jackson, such a young talent, she'll be perfect wherever she goes. People are booking her for Stardom to win that world title. Anyway, let's get into the good stuff. Let's get into SmackDown. The show.
The good stuff and then go into SmackDown. Don't lie.
I know. It's not the meat and potatoes, and honestly, we're kind of skimming through it. We're eating just the meat, We're leaving the crust in the box, We're being sloppy bitches.
Just a little bit.
But LA Knight versus Damian Priest in a promo, and then a match afterwards because things got too heated. Solo, Sikoa, and Jacob Fatu interfere.
We do it every week, man.
Yeah, it's just filler segment for this coming pay-per-view, which we'll get into later. And it's just, they're looking strong against each other. I can't fault them in that. Fraxiom pick up another W against Pretty Deadly, making them go up the ranks in the SmackDown Tag Team division.
I love them, man. They're awesome.
And they're fine.
They're fine.
Tiffany and Nia have a promo. Yeah, it sets up a tag team match main event between Tiffany, Nia, Jade Cargill, and Naomi. And whatever.
Yeah.
I know I was just rooting for better booking for the women in the opening segment, but this is just such boring follow-up storylines post WrestleMania. I kind of understand Jade Cargill and Naomi still. You know, they have unfinished business, sure. But fucking let go. Like, if you're letting go of anybody, let go of Nia Jax again.
Yeah, please. I don't like her. I don't want her here. She's not doing anything interesting because you were defending her before. I remember a while ago you were defending her because she was. She's
okay. She's gotten better. She's gotten worse again. It's just it's like she's overstayed her welcome. It's. I'm over it. I'm over it. Aliester Black has his first win back in WWE against The Miz, Mike the Awesome Mizawa. Yeah, these guys put on a show. You know, it looks like Aliester Black may be facing Carmelo Hayes here soon.
That'll be a fun match.
Pretty fun, exciting stuff because we haven't seen those two in a match together as far as I know. And honestly, Carmelo needs something new. You know, I like the Andre chain around his neck, but yeah, him versus Malachi, and like I would love to see him in another best of 7. Fuck it.
Aliester. Not Malachi.
Oh shit! I'm dead naming him.
Why are you dead naming Aliester?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm happy. That'll be fun. That'll be a fun match. If it's a one-off, I'm still excited. That's gonna be
for sure. And then to round out SmackDown here, we're going to talk about Randy Orton's promo against a missing John Cena. You know, he says that John Cena, he didn't just sell his soul to The Rock. He sold his soul for the last 20 years.
Ooh.
You know, John Cena promises that Randy Orton's legacy will be erased after this match over his dead body, says Randy Orton.
His dead body.
Randy Orton says that John Cena is just the latest legend to put down.
Oh, I love it. I just love it. I love Randy. He's amazing.
And Cena's head will go flying through the St. Louis Arch.
So sick.
So sick. Absolutely insane, intense words for Randy. What's there to say? I'm fucking excited for this match. I've been excited for this match since it's been booked. I think Randy and John Cena are going to be putting on a good 20, 30-minute match. I think the only thing that would ruin it is Travis Scott. And we'll get into that later. But, you know, let's move on. Let's get Raw together. You know, we're going so fast. It's getting so raw and pink.
Yeah, let's go, man. Let's go.
Yeah. It's a loaded Raw, to be honest. And yeah, because every Monday night when we get the clipboard of the storylines of what? No. What? Why? What's I don't know why we're halting the show again.
No, just go. Go.
But yeah, Paul Heyman opens up the show to confront Jey Uso, says that Heyman was right in his decision to leave Roman Reigns and to not go with CM Punk, because you know what? He went with that little poor pooch, that big dog of Roman Reigns, and he lifted him up for 1,316 days to be your tribal chief, who you acknowledged, Dylan. Every time he came out, you threw up that finger and you said, thank you, my tribal chief.
Jessica's my real tribal chief, but we don't
fuck off. But yeah, Heyman insists that he was right in his decision. After his title loss, Roman left him for dead and says that Seth, you know, will fight anytime, any place for that World Heavyweight Championship against Jey Uso, which sets up the main event. Sets up Jey Uso.
They've been actually like telling a story through the episodes recently. I think we've talked about this. Like,
yeah, sets up Jey Uso for Seth Rollins. Jey Uso versus Seth Rollins for the title to main event Raw. I'm so glad that this ended.
Popped a hernia.
Dude, his face was so red and brown at the same time. It's crazy. Him and Matt share the same complexion.
Yep.
That was such that's such low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've enjoyed that they've been telling stories throughout Raw. I also enjoy that Jey Uso's first title defense is not against Logan Paul. You know, it is technically against Seth Rollins, and later on he proves that this is a very good banger of a match, despite what happened. Following up this segment, Penta takes down the returning JD McDonough as he continues to face the Judgment Day and all the members within.
Yeah, Chad Gable was there too, I guess.
Was it Chad Gable or was it fucking...
I think it was Chad Gable.
El Gordo American.
Don't call him El Gordo. That is your WWE Speed Champion. All right,
and he's so fucking... He should... You know what? If he's a real American, he should fucking start eating some cheeseburgers. He's a little too ripped to be an American.
Penta won on the Mexican Destroyer.
Hell yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Break that bobblehead's neck.
Mm-hmm. After his lung just popped.
I like when JD McDonough takes abuse. You should Google that phrase.
It's a shame to play Boston. He's back.
We're fucking on one tonight. This is crazy. Yeah.
Too many lives. Too many lives. Oh.
Yeah, indeed. Sheamus is back. He was set to face Grayson Waller, but Grayson Waller said, I don't want.
Crikey, mate! I don't want to fight him.
Oi, cover! I don't want to face that former world heavyweight champion. Theory, why don't you get in there, mate? And he goes, I wish I had a. Oh my god. Theory in my head sounds like Shaggy in this situation, but
Zoinks Waller.
Zoinks Grayson. Yeah, Sheamus knocks his fucking head off. It's a pretty easy dub for the Irish bastard. Speaking of Irish bastards, Lyra and Becky Lynch have a promo.
We're friends.
Hell yeah. I almost split the G this weekend.
I miss when I could touch you.
To open up this promo, Becky says that she is the greatest to ever do it.
Oh.
That she has made, these historic moments of her career, and Lyra will always be known as the moment after the moment, which got a dead reaction from the crowd, by the way.
No, everyone, crickets.
Because it was kind of a lame line. Let's be honest. For your final line, it's such like a QTE quick time event that she missed. Crazy. Then Lyra says she has the one achievement over Becky that she will never have. That Lyra
gonna win the fucking belt.
Lyra, she's the first IC Women's Champion, and that just pisses Becky Lynch off. And as long as Lyra is here, Becky will be second place, and then a cat fight breaks out.
I hate the Devin's right because Lyra was the one standing at the end, which makes me think Becky is going to win this title, and Devin's gonna be proven right, and he's gonna FaceTime into the show and say, "I told you guys, ha 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 ha." And I'm gonna have to be very sad.
And then he'll say, "Oh, the single ladies, oh, the single ladies, oh, the single ladies."
Now put your hands up.
Put your hands up to acknowledge your tribal chief. And then Jay-Z comes out.
Jay-Z is not my tribal chief.
Now you're rocking with it. Yeah, Io Sky defeats Roxanne Perez. I'm rocking with that. It's a shame that Roxanne has taken these L's on Raw.
I know.
As this like
the end of the segment, always on top.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about how they're booking the NXT women, like guiding into Raw and stuff. Honestly, I think we're setting up for maybe like a Stephanie Vaquer set up to defeat Becky Lynch for the IC title at like SummerSlam, but that's for another story. Yeah, Julia comes back and attacks Io after.
I thought we went over that. My bad. They do this every week with Roxanne. If she loses, and then they beat him up, and they're like, I'm still stronger. It's like, no, you took another loss.
Yeah.
You can't stop talking about how you took another loss.
But you know who's taking losses? L-pha Academy. That's what they should be called. L-pha Academy, because they just keep taking L's. Rusev defeats Otis in a meat versus meat match. The guy with the bigger meat won. And it's just he goes after.
I'm gonna accolade you on Saturday.
He goes after fucking Shrimp Boy McGee in Tozawa after the match, because he tries to defend Otis's honor. You know,
cute, man. All right, Rusev squashed him. Let's move on to something good.
I'm waiting for Maxine to get in there and really serve it up with Rusev. You know.
And then I went to go take a piss break.
Why? Because Pat McAfee and Gunther were having a promo?
I don't care.
I know.
This is stupid. This is disrespectful to Gunther.
It is.
This is gross. I love Pat McAfee, but this is gross, man. It's a waste of everyone's time.
Yeah. I wonder if it's in McAfee's contract or something that he has to have a match every half quarter or whatever.
And he chose Gunther?
Or Triple H chose Gunther because he... I don't know. But Gunther...
If Pat McAfee wins that match, I'm never watching wrestling again. I'm doing the show, but just reading the results.
So kind of like how I do it. Gunther... Pat McAfee says that Gunther has gotten too comfortable. And he'll underestimate Pat. You know, Pat McAfee will prove that this version of Gunther is soft, is what Pat McAfee said. Gunther says, Gunther responds that he will be sharp, he will be more prepared, and to not be worried that he will be underestimated, because McAfee's getting his full, undivided attention on Saturday. Saying he will maul McAfee.
I hope so.
By only the grace of God can lift Gunther's arms off McAfee's throat, is what he said.
And I hope that's true.
I hope that's true. You know,
the only way it can't be true is if Ilya Dragunov comes out. I
was gonna say, if we live in this world that McAfee says, it's not my name on the contract, it's Ilya Dragunov, and then he says his name kind of funny, and then
Dragon.
My man Dragunov, you know, Dragunov, I'm Dragunov every night. That's what he'll say.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be such dog shit.
Unless it's just if it's a straight murder, then I'm down.
Yeah.
But if it's not, if it's anything but that,
But I also I will say that there is such false hope in Ilya Dragunov returning on Saturday, because why the fuck would Ilya return in St. Louis of all places?
yeah, I can
At Backlash.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Because they need something important on that card other than John Cena.
Yeah.
This card's kind of wag.
But let's go bit by bit in this main event here. Like we said, opening up Raw, Heyman set up Jey Uso to fight Seth Rollins in the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship in Jey Uso's first title defense. And it was a pretty even match between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was probably, I feel like Jey Uso is beating these like washed allegations or not a good wrestler allegations. But how can you have a bad match when you are facing Seth Rollins?
It's not possible.
It's not. So, yeah, Jey Uso was set up pretty well here. Let's see how he'll fare on Saturday. But, yeah, it is...
And then Logan Paul punches him in the face.
Yeah, he got punched by Logan Paul after the match. Sami Zayn showed up in the middle of the match to even the odds with Braun Breaker because he was at ringside.
Punk comes out.
Yeah, Punk comes out at the end of the match because Rollins was set to win the match after a Braun Breaker spear to Jey Uso. Punk arrived, returning at his first return since WrestleMania. And hit
Raw after Mania.
Oh, Raw after Mania, yeah, and hit Seth Rollins with a chair, disqualifying Seth Rollins and letting him win the match by a DQ, not winning the title. Logan Paul shows up after Raw concluded.
And dome pieces Jey Uso.
Yeah, it's actually Jey Uso and Logan Paul is not happening on Saturday.
I don't why.
So it's not confirmed.
What?
It's not. It wasn't on Wikipedia.
Why are they building this?
Probably for Saturday night main event, which is coming up here soon too.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, I just wanted to correct that real quick.
I just hate it. I just hate it all so much. They're setting up like a CM Punk, Sami Zayn versus Breaker and Seth, which is fun.
Yeah, that'll probably be at Saturday night's main event. They may introduce a third man there. I would love to see maybe, you know, they've kind of done this bit where like a team in AEW where like a team has helped somebody else win the Money in the Bank. So maybe like Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker help a
Montez Ford,
Austin Theory.
They don't. Triple H don't like him like that.
Yeah, true. I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, it's a good main event. Nothing. I mean, I'm not mad at it. I'm glad that Punk is back. Setting up anything between those four wrestlers should be great, and to have Punk mix it up with some of this younger, mix it up with Braun Breaker. I was gonna say some of this younger talent, but it's one person specifically. Yeah. Yeah. We want to go ahead and get into predictions.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Yes, I do.
So we'll just go ahead and go back and forth between us and the matches. We'll open up with the latest match announced for WWE Backlash. That was Dominik Mysterio versus Penta for the IC Championship. Now, we've seen Penta in this Judgment Day Hunter gimmick. Where are we at with him taking the IC title, possibly?
I don't think it happens. I don't think they cut Dom's rung in that short. I think he has so much behind him now that he won. And they saw the reaction at Mania, and they don't want to drop that off him just yet. I don't think Penta needs the title to be hot. Everyone loves him right now.
Yeah.
I think that this is a perfect storm to do the Finn turn. And Dom still somehow sneaks out, but then that's where we get into the Finn Dom stuff. You know what I mean?
Very
and then
true.
Penta can go somewhere else away from the Judgment Day. Because the Judgment Day will then have imploded.
Yeah. I would like Penta to eventually get the IC title. If this is setting up Dominik versus Finn at some point later on down the road, sure. So are you saying Dominik's retaining?
Yeah.
I agree. I think that Dominik's run with the belt would be too short if he were to lose. Penta, like I said, does deserve that title. Maybe not right now. I think maybe a win over Finn Balor does elevate him a bit more than maybe a win over a Dominik. So if that's the plans, sure. Because if Finn somehow is the next contender after this, he is then like given that elevation that we've been asking for Finn, you know, given that push that we've been so desperately asking for, or, you know, that can even set up for Finn and AJ for the title if they want to do that, if that's going to be a continuation.
Because they
of next
a little
week.
bit of a hey Prince.
Yeah. Following up, I want to say I want to get back to those Irish bastards. Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch for the women's IC title.
Becky Hogan, unfortunately.
You think so?
I don't see why.
That's what you were saying earlier. Yeah,
It doesn't make sense to do this and then have her lose to Lyra.
Maybe to just negate allegations. I don't see Becky. I would hate this reliance on part-timers for most or every one of your champions on Raw, you know, or like, because you got to think like Cena's not showing up with the belt every week. I don't think Becky would be.
Yeah, but Raw has Mr. Yeetman, who's there every week.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. When your world title holder doesn't show up every week, your secondary title has to. And when you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it seems as though, like, Io's there every week, so you don't need your IC champ there every week.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that argument isn't as... Because I think it elevates the belt. Unfortunately, it does elevate the belt.
Yeah. Like I said, they may be setting up a Becky versus Stephanie Vakir later on at like a SummerSlam or a Worlds Collide. When I initially put out this match and I put out my prediction on the paper, I said Lyra, man. I think she is putting up a good like defense against Becky Hogan. That's what I will give her. You know, she does not.
She's been doing so good on the mic too.
She is not looking weak going into this match. She has a lot of things going for her. It is depending on whether or not Becky Lynch wants to put over young talent. But I want to say Lyra just because I'm hopeful. Moving on, we have the men's U.S. Championship match between Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight, versus Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. What do we think about this? They've all looked pretty strong heading into this match. Yarmin.
It just doesn't make sense to drop it off him, man. Everyone loves him. He's elevating this title. Look at this Fatal 4-Way is elevating this title so much, and it gives Fatu a real win.
Yeah.
That can keep pushing him forward, and he can have a good extended reign on this. until I think he can hold this till John Cena loses the World Heavyweight Championship, and then Jacob Fatu can be next in line. Because if he's a SmackDown guy, he's
Yeah.
not gonna go for the World Heavyweight Championship this year. You're
Yeah.
not gonna have Jacob Fatu, John Cena. You're just not gonna do it, right? So if you're not gonna do that, have him be the best mid-card champion on SmackDown, who's gonna be there every week and ball out, and then maybe next year or in a year and a half, we get him going for the World Heavyweight Championship, or the you know what I mean, the undisputed, whichever show he's on, whichever way we move it. But let this run show that he can do it for a long extended time healthily, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because then you can get into like so many storylines. You can get into Jacob Fatu Roman. You can get into all these different avenues of thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It'll be such a great match between the four of them, and I do think that all these men are gonna put on a show. I do agree with you that Jacob Fatu is gonna win. It's kind of the same argument that I had for Dominik, that it's a little too soon for a loss there for Jacob Fatu, and like none of these competitors really need it. They're like Damian and Drew are both former world champions. LA Knight, honestly, he could be a contender for the Money in the Bank here in a month. So I'm not too concerned if
I saw the craziest Money in the Bank theory that like John Cena wins so no one can cash on him. It was so funny. I was like, man, you guys need to wake up.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Then we have Pat McAfee versus Gunther. We kind of already said it there at the end with the promo that we just hope that there's a squash match there between the two of them. Pat McAfee stands no chance if he's actually facing Gunther. Gunther canonically should not be scared or frightened by a former NFL punter and current WWE commentator and current stoner.
Like, yeah, you had a cool match with Adam Cole one time. I'm Gunther.
Yeah. It is so insane and miserable that Gunther is being lowered to this level. But yeah, I agree. Gunther should squash McAfee like a damn bug. Finally, John Cena versus Randy Orton for one last time. I'm
so excited.
Like I said earlier, this is going to be like a 20-30 minute banger. There's only a couple ways they could ruin this, let's be real. Actually, there's one way, and it's Fiend.
I could go the rest of my life without hearing Fiend ever again.
Yeah.
The WWE has corrupted that song.
Yeah.
For my brain. It's John Cena, man. It's not the time to drop the belt. But
yeah,
it's gonna be an amazing time, and it's gonna be so nostalgic. And I think a lot of the time throughout this run, we're gonna come back on this show and say, man, that made me a little emotional. You know, and I think we need to cherish these moments while we have it. It's already May.
Yeah.
Of this last year of John Cena. It's flying by, man, and we really need to appreciate these cool little things that we get for the last time.
Yeah, I totally agree. John Cena is going to retain on Saturday. It's too short of a period for him to drop it to Randy. Maybe it could be a surprising thing for Randy. Like, I'd love a Randy win here, but I do think John Cena is going to carry this championship for a while.
And I think he needs to. I think this last run needs the belt for a long time, and it needs to be a run that's worth it. Like, John's never had a year-long run, like full 365.
Yeah, but he's not going to, unfortunately.
No, I know, but let him have one last good run, because he's always been this sort of in the loop champion. I'm always gonna get it back, but I'm not gonna hold it forever.
Yeah, it is. It's, and I think we're both in the same camp that I think John Cena is not ending this run.
He's not gonna ruin wrestling.
Well, he's not ending this run as a heel.
Yeah.
He is eventually turning back at some point. Could I see this kind of being a catalyst for that? Possibly. He could take the Randy Orton could take the championship, and Cena could realize yeah, that was a lot, but I don't know. I don't know how intense of a storyline they're running with heel John Cena. I do agree that John Cena is going to retain on Saturday. For the rest of the show, though, I do want to get into this article from ESPN. There's an ESPN article about John Cena's retirement tour and how they think these as of April 25th, when this article was posted, John Cena only had 27 dates left. So they're imagining where things go from there. Their first date.
Oh, I saw this. It's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen.
I want to go through. I do want to go through it, because we do have a little extra time to fill out here. Something fun to make fun of. They say that first date of John Cena defeats Randy Orton. Says he beats his old foe in his hometown of St. Louis. They get to see the two of these mix it up for one last time. No interference, no nothing. They don't give a storyline for that match other than it's going to be a good.
As long as there's no Travis Scott, I'm happy.
A good match between the two of them. Following up that though, they start fucking fantasy booking their asses off. They start saying, Money in the Bank, June 7th, John Cena would face Jey Uso. But this match would only be for Jey Uso's title. Cena would call in a favor from The Rock, wanting to unify both world titles and walk away with both of them to ruin wrestling.
That's so funny, but not.
Just as Cena's about to win, Cody Rhodes shows up to spoil the party. Travis Scott brings the advantage back to Cena's camp, only for Bad Bunny. Only for Bad Bunny to surprise everyone and cost Cena the match, setting up a SummerSlam main event. Jey Uso retains his title, of course, in the situation.
Did you just say setting up a SummerSlam main event of Bad Bunny and John Cena?
Bad Bunny and Cody Rhodes. Versus John Cena and Travis Scott. But we're not even there yet, because at July 12th, Saturday night's main event, we're going to bust our nut a little early here and have John Cena defeat CM Punk.
Why on Saturday night main event? That's such a waste.
I don't know. Because, the pro wrestling world, they say the pro wrestling world would be better off if these two had one last match. Put it on network television to boot. Give me pile drivers, Cena Karanas, all the callbacks. Fuck you. No.
Cena's not going to do a Cena Karana. He's fucking old.
He's 45. Peacemaker is not doing a Hurricane Rana. I'm sorry. You're not seeing that. But no, like I said, the SummerSlam main event on August 3rd would be John Cena and Travis Scott defeating Cody Rhodes and Bad Bunny. How do we feel about that?
You know how I feel about that. I hate it.
But given his current level of engagement, Travis Scott needs to wrestle a match, Dylan.
No, he does. No, he doesn't.
He's training with Booker T.
Yeah, 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 yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
The writer of this article says that Cena and John Cena and Travis Scott will win here, with John Cena pinning Cody to set up their final battle in December. Remember that. We're in August here. After that, in September, John Cena does a little side quest and shows up at TNA Victory Road to get defeated by Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry.
And you wanted to spend time reading this article?
Yeah, I just wanted to poke fun at this. Joe Hendry beats John Cena by DQ, is what they say.
Stupid.
They say that they love the ability to have newer superstars face John Cena in a similar fashion to that 2015 U.S. Open Challenge. That could lead to John Cena showing up unannounced at TNA. John Cena.
I understand how it would go. I don't like this.
John Cena calling out Joe Hendry, and they have an impromptu match, title for title. The match ends in DQ, so both titles can stay put. Hendry has an incredible bright future, and the manifestation of the match with John Cena is fulfilled.
Yeah, not gonna happen next.
Before that December rematch with John Cena and Cody Rhodes, we have John Cena defeating Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
that one I'm actually cool with.
They say that this match would be off the chain, and says that they have literally no fantasy booking for this match. But they say that Saturday night's main event, Cody Rhodes defeats John Cena for the Undisputed Championship in his hometown of Boston. As Cody exits the ring, the crowd chants, "Thank you, Cena." Nah, hey, goodbye. Maybe one more poetic, "Let's go, Cena. Cena sucks." Yeah. And similar to like they did at WrestleMania, they put up like John Cena's name on the Tron.
Oh man, I'm gonna cry, dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry real tears.
Yeah, it is.
It's gonna be an emotional reaction.
It's gonna be an emotional reaction. I think we're in for one hell of a ride here with John Cena. You know, not this shit of a ride though. Fuck you, ESPN.
Yeah, not this, but we're gonna have a good one. You think it's
and
gonna
I hope
Cody?
I don't know. It wouldn't. I would hope that he puts over somebody new, but I guess
if he puts over Cody, I don't hate it.
Yeah, if he puts over Cody, if he puts over anybody else, I don't necessarily hate it. It's you know. It depends on how much Travis Scott is involved at all in this final run.
Yeah, honestly.
I think he will have a match, though. I think that...
I'm gonna hate it.
Unfortunately, I do think that prediction... I don't know if Bad Bunny...
Who's it gonna be with?
I don't know if Bad Bunny is necessarily the tag team partner there.
Who's Travis Scott gonna fight? Cody Rhodes?
Me.
I'll die.
Me.
Well, we'll see that on a future episode of Pod-a-Mania.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below your favorite moments from this week, your predictions for the upcoming pay-per-view. Hopefully we'll see you on Saturday. Follow us at Pod-a-Mania Pod. Follow our personal Twitters. You already know the drill. We will hopefully see you Saturday. Until then, bye-bye.
Peace. Knicks at 4.